dog in the street.
Welcome in, everyone. Twin City Sports Talk. Great to have you back. Today we're going to be going through our first NFL draft analysis. First is the running backs. We're going to go through the whole running back class and really go through the guys that I would want to see the Vikings draft at whatever round that would be in, and kind of go over the ones that I don't want, the ones that are not what I'm looking for specific reasons. And we have a little pieces of film from each one, one of my favorite runs from each one of them from this past season. And I'll do a little bit of a spoiler. There's really only 4 guys that I would feel very comfortable with the Vikings drafting, because if you go back, Aaron Jones is, I think, 32. He is a very likely candidate to be cut, because if everyone has paid attention, the Vikings need to shave off about $48 million of their cap space, okay? And Aaron Jones is one of those likely names to be cut. That would free up, I think, about $8 million of the money for next year in 2026, meaning the Vikings would have to address the running back in the draft, because they won't have much money to address it in free agency. Free agency wouldn't even have that home run hitter either way. The draft is where they would need to solve that problem, and that's why we're doing this today. What I will say before I get to this, there's going to be some bigger names that should go in the earlier rounds that I am not about, because right now in the NFL, it is a very big trend. You have Sonic and Knuckles from Detroit, Jahmyr Gibbs, and David Montgomery. And the NFL is kind of shifting into that kind of a pace where it's that home run hitter, fast running back, super elusive. And then you have one guy that can really just run over, honestly, anyone. And right now, the Vikings have that second guy, Jordan Mason, who has tree trunk legs, who can run through anyone, and he's your third down back. So what the Vikings need right now, and what they would ideally target in the draft, is a home run hitter, elusive, breakaway speed, fast. If they were going to draft a running back, which, again, if Aaron Jones does get cut, which it looks like that will probably happen, that's what you need. And that's where my head's at. That's where this entire analysis for the draft of running backs is going to be at. And again, I only have 4 guys that I'm really wanting them to draft. There's a few that I'm on the fence about that could be later round picks, but the Vikings right now would honestly be slated probably to draft a running back in rounds 1 through 3. And I'll go through some of those names as I pop this website up. NFL Draft Buzz. First guy on the list is an obvious one. It's obviously Jeremiah Love. Okay, Jeremiah Love is the number 1 running back in this draft. Me personally, I'm so high on him. I have him as a better prospect coming into the NFL more than Ashton Jeanty. I love a lot more of what Jeremiah does. He's a better receiving threat than Ashton Jeanty. He just has more of a breakaway speed. He can run over. He does everything. And just like it says in this little summary here, watch the USC game and you'll see everything you need to know about him. Because in that USC game, he had 228 yards, a touchdown, and 37 receiving yards. He was everything for that Notre Dame offense. He did everything humanly possible for them to win that game, and they ended up winning it. So that was a great one. But throughout the whole year, Love had 1,372 yards, which he ran at a 6.9 average clip, averaging 6.9 yards every run, 18 rushing touchdowns, 280 pass yards with 3 touchdowns. And here's the thing. If this guy right here, Jadarian Price, wasn't a Notre Dame running back these past 2 years, Love probably would have gone over the, I'd say, 15 or 1,600 mark and probably around 22 touchdowns, because Jadarian Price, obviously right now, ranked number 3rd running back in this, and we'll get to him in a bit. But he is also a phenomenal running back. So he wasn't taking away stuff from Jeremiah Love, because Love is the best running back in the draft. But if Price wasn't there, Love's stats would have been inflated even more. And the big thing I go off of here is when I compare him, or when people compare him to Ashton Jeanty, Jeanty was in the Mountain West with Boise State, okay? Jeremiah Love is playing Power 4 schools all year. People can whine and cry about how easy Notre Dame's schedule is, but it is Power 4 teams all year. To start the year, Notre Dame played Miami and Texas A&M, and Texas A&M, he had over 100 yards. Miami, Jadarian Price had a great game. They play tougher opponents. They play way better defenses. Miami's defense is one of the best in the nation. There's a big difference there, and I see that throughout every position. Maybe the top one being quarterback, because like this is why I was never high on Zach Wilson coming into the league, as a lot of people were. I think a lot of that hype came off of one pro day throw where he's running off platform and he throws it 50 yards downfield right in the bucket for Wilson, but Wilson was in BYU, and I'm pretty sure at that time BYU wasn't even in the Big 12 yet. So there's just so much baggage when it comes to guys that aren't playing in Power 4 or Power 5 schools from a few years ago. And it just makes a huge difference. And that's one of the big things why I like Jeremiah Love more than Genty. But one move specifically put me absolutely in love with the guy eyeing this draft. And here's the problem. Love is the number one running back. He does have the talent to go top 10, 100% easily has the talent to go top 10, which that's the problem. The Vikings had a chance to be top 8 in this draft, and then they ended up winning the last 5 games of the season, dropping down to pick 18. So if the Vikings really wanted a chance at Love here, it would be via trade up in the draft, which I'll show you this one clip from one of Notre Dame's bigger games against Pittsburgh this year. If I was GM, we've done it on the show before, I would do anything in my power to get Jeremiah Love in a Vikings uniform, because this guy does everything. And here's the big reason why. The Seahawks are in the Super Bowl, and they just blew out the Niners in the divisional round 41-6, I think. They have the best defense in the league. Hey, the Vikings have Brian Flores coming back. So the Vikings defense will automatically be top 7, probably better going into next year. Yeah, we'll lose a few guys on the D line and the linebacker position. They'll automatically be top 10, probably top 7 in the league in most key categories. Okay, so you have that. You have your Super Bowl winning defense. And then you have the right offensive coach. People can whine and cry about Kevin O'Connell and his play calling, but guess what? If you bring Jeremiah Love into the building and then you have Love and Jordan Mason, you have one of the top running back duos in the league, and bringing him in quite literally forces Kevin O'Connell to be like, okay, so we traded up in the draft to get Jeremiah Love. He's one of the top running back prospects in the past couple decades. I have to run the ball now, because if going back to that Seahawks-Niners game, the Seahawks, Sam Darnold had 160 passing yards against the Niners. The defense, and they had a kick return. They did a lot. But Kenneth Walker had, I think, 3 touchdowns in that game, 130 yards. That Clint Kubiak ran offense in Seattle. And by the way, Clint Kubiak just got a job for the Raiders head coach. But his offense is solely based on running the ball. And then the quarterback, when they need to step up, when teams really step up and stop the run, the quarterback can do his job. KOC take a note out of his playbook and do this. But he can't do it with Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, because Aaron Jones is 31, 32 years old, gets injured a lot. He doesn't have the same work ethic, and not work ethic, but he doesn't have the same engine as Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love is more elusive. I'll give it to Aaron Jones. He's probably a better pass blocker as of right now, but that's something you can improve on. But Love, with every running back, kind of measurable speed, elusiveness, running people over. Love is better in everything. And so if you bring him in, it literally forces KOC to call easier games for JJ McCarthy. And this is a franchise-changing pick. If you could trade up and get Jeremiah Love, it is absolutely franchise-changing. I will die on a hill of that. And the earliest I would probably, I'm not going to go up to top 5, because I think the earliest team that could pick him, in my opinion, is the Chiefs at 9. So if the Chiefs have expressed interest coming the draft in running back, I think you have to address that and say, okay, what would it take to trade up? Trade up 9 picks for the Chiefs. It would be a big deal, but this is a big player deal. This is someone that will give you, like right here, it says 440 40-yard dash. That's a super fast running back, okay? Everything about him is great, but this one run specifically is maybe the best part about it. Okay. I'm about to pull up a clip from the Pittsburgh game that Notre Dame had this year. If anyone has watched any Jeremiah Love clips, this is the one that sticks out. Okay. Automatically see on the left side here, the tight end. He is gonna pull block onto the right side. He's gonna run to the right and pick up this linebacker in the middle. And that creates a gap for Jeremiah Love. But look how patient Jeremiah Love is in this play. So there's that tight end right in the middle, cutting over. He's going to pick up the safety or linebacker coming down. Okay. Love gets it. He's right in the middle. Look at this wall. There is nowhere to run unless this tight end, great block by the tight end, yes. But there is nowhere to run. There's a wall right here. The vision is one thing that sticks out also. And then it clears up a little bit. Tight end is about to pick up this block. And then here you go. You have a lane. He saw that lane before it even developed. Like I said, there was that wall there before. He saw that lane before it even developed. Okay, he gets through. Look where he's looking. He's looking right at this ref way upfield, maybe at this corner on the right side. His head isn't turned to this other safety back by this ref on the left side here. And then look at this move he puts on this safety. I mean, that was gross. That was nasty. He has the Pitt teammate running into his own guy. Complete perfect spin move. Let's see that one again. And then off to the races, Jeremiah Love, breakaway speed. That's all he does. All right. Again, let's go back to this part right here. Right here, puts his foot in the ground, puts his right foot in the ground, gets that super hard, super fast spin, and puts this safety out of his shoes. All right. I'm going to go back one more time just to say, Love, look, he is already making his move right as he gets out of the hole. The safety's still 9 feet away from him, and he is starting this position he's right in. That is his left foot getting up so he can plant his right foot on this next step. Boom. He plants it, spin move out. But the biggest thing too, right here, how does he see this guy on the left? I don't know. That's the biggest thing. His vision is super impressive because this guy is vertically a diagonal kind of angle upfield. It would be very hard to see the vision, and then spin off to the races. Jeremiah Love, one of the best plays in college football this year, undoubtedly. And just that play alone, that's why you trade up for him. He is generational, and he is exactly who the Vikings need to go get if they can. The Saints might have a chance at picking him at 8, or they might choose him at 8, with Alvin Kamara getting a bit older. But there you go. That's the incentive with that. Just that clip right there shows you everything you need to know. All right. Second on this list is Jonah Coleman. Okay, so Jonah Coleman, the Washington running back, enters the draft 1 year early. Okay, he's 5'9". He runs a 4.50 40-yard dash, 230 pounds. So he's a stocky dude, all right? Jonah Coleman had 673 yards this year, 14 touchdowns, 340 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. But here's the problem. Like I said before, I am looking for guys to break away home run balls and really be able to just end a play. You're upfield, no one can catch you. I want speed. I want Jahmyr Gibbs type, okay? Jonah Coleman is not fast based on this 4.50 40-yard dash automatically, but his longest run this year was the 34-yarder. I forget who against. But he's just more of a bruiser back. He is 5'9", but this guy has tree trunk legs. It's just another Jordan Mason, if I'm being completely honest. And here's him being ranked second. It's a bit of a shock to some people. He's a decent receiving threat, but he is more of a third down short yardage back. And if teams are going to use him in a more traditional, like first round, go pick us up 6 or 7 yards on a play, I don't think teams are going to like what they find with him. And I think it's not going to be a great NFL career. If I'm being completely honest for Jonah Coleman, I think he's projected to go early second round here. But it's not someone I want the Vikings drafting. And him being so high, it worries me because the odds of them getting Jeremiah Love are pretty slim. So they're probably going to be searching in the Jadarian Price, Emmett Johnson, Nick Singleton role, which we'll get to those guys in a second. But Jonah Coleman, I don't want him. I don't want him. I want the speed. I want the elusiveness. Jonah Coleman can truck any guy. Watches any highlight tape from his last year here at Washington, but it's just nothing that I want right now for the Vikings. You need that speed and elusiveness right there. All right, but the next guy we are going to get to Jeremiah Love's counterpart, Jadarian Price, right here. Okay, so Jadarian Price runs a 4.44 40, 5'11", 209 pounds, just a honestly perfect running back build. This guy is strong. He's beefy. He has the speed. Jadarian Price is honestly, what does it say here? Brings the kind of versatile skill set that the NFL offensive coordinators love. A back who can hurt defenses on all three downs. That explains it perfectly. What I have right here is just, like I said, great mix of speed and power, if I'm being completely honest. And he's also a good pass blocker. It's really impressive that he stayed at Notre Dame with Jeremiah Love, because this guy could have been a RB1 on really any college football team, if I'm being completely honest. But he chose to be with Jeremiah Love. And I wouldn't say it paid off, but like, he's also going to go second or third round here. He had 672 yards, 11 touchdowns, being a backup running back. It's not a backup. It's kind of a 60-40 split between them, but he averaged 6 yards on the ground. He does a lot. Okay. He does quite a bit. The vision is there. The elusiveness is there. The breakaway speed is there. His arms are huge. He can stiff arm anyone. A lot of highlights on him. A lot of everything, really. It's good to see. This would be another guy. I am going to pull up another run of his. Okay. So right here, kind of a traditional kind of cover two look for the Boise State Broncos here. You have this guy blitzing off the edge, which doesn't really matter in this play. But so right here, not starting out fast, Jadarian Price right here. Not starting out fast at all. Look at this. Look at this wall. The on the left side, that's completely contained. The Boise has that covered. He's not going to go to the right side now, or else you're going to get tackled for a 2-yard loss of gain here. There is a wall. The patience really comes into play. And I mean really comes into play, because then here, look at where he's cutting to. Right here in this picture frame, you would say, all right, he's going to go all the way to the right side. But he also does see this hole right in the middle of the offensive line there, being covered by number 54 right here, the center. Look at this. Look at the speed. I'm going to replay just that one frame real quick. Look at the speed. And then he cuts all the way back to the left. Look at that vision. And then here we go. Broken tackle. Runs through two guys, broken tackle there, and then this guy can't get the shoestring tackle. What a run by Jadarian Price, seriously. But this is special right here, when a guy can make this kind of a cut and go the opposite way. You don't see this in the NFL. You don't see this in a lot of levels of football anymore. Because look at this. The left side originally all covered up. Look at this frame right here. You have 4 Boise Broncos right here. 4 blue helmets covering that. So he said, all right, if I need to get back to the left, I need to cut to the right to kind of get the defense over there. A mistake by number 0 and 53 on Boise here for both coming around and not someone sticking back. But I just can't get over the cut in between this defense, in between this entire jumbled mess right here. Great blocking by Notre Dame, undoubtedly. But Jadarian, perfect, getting all the way out, and the vision is absolutely insane. Either way, perfect run, goes and scores a touchdown for the Irish. One more look at it. Super good run. Multiple broken tackles there. The vision, the elusiveness, the cuts, everything you want to see out of an RB1 in the NFL. I mean, that's high-level stuff right there from Jadarian Price, and it would be a great name for the Vikings to draft. And I'd be very happy with him late second or third round. Going to pop this back up there again. So there's 3 guys, Jeremiah Love, Jonah, and I'm not going to go through every single running back in the draft here. I'm really only going – I don't think the Vikings are going to have a draft pick late used on a running back. I think they're going to try getting someone in this top 7, I'd say. Someone in this top 7. because Katron Allen's pushing into the 4th round, probably a 3rd round pick. Damon Claiborne, he should be a 4th or 5th round pick. So I don't think it's going to be much later than that. But either way, next name is Emmett Johnson. Okay. A little familiar here with Gophers fans being in the Big Ten. I'm not going to lie, it was kind of fun. We kind of shut him down this past season when the Gophers played him. But Emmett Johnson is also a Minnesota native. Okay. So that's always fun when you can get a kind of stay home here. But Emmett had a phenomenal year. 1,451 yards, 12 touchdowns, 370 receiving yards for 3 touchdowns. Here's the thing. He's not as like speedy. He's not like a home run threat, but the thing that sets him apart from Jonah Coleman, in my opinion, is the quick feet, not the legs, because the legs account for speed, but the quick feet and the power within him, because he has everything to make up for every bit of speed that he loses, because he's kind of the same speed as Jonah Coleman, but Coleman is not as elusive. He can't make guys miss like Emmett Johnson can. Okay. Yeah, that's all I have to say about him right now. But the stats, they prove it. Lateral, this is perfect. Johnson's lateral agility is genuinely special. And when you combine that with vision, patience, and burst, you have a back. I'm not going to read. Well, I can't read the whole thing, I guess. Where's the whole? All right. Either way, I'm not going to go through all that. But you get a special back in general. I mean, quickness matched with elusiveness, power football, big legs. That's all you need right there. I'm going to show you one of his runs here. And if people can't tell, this is another guy I'd be fine with the Vikings drafting. Emmett is going to be a 3rd or 4th round pick. He's not going to get up to the 2nd. But here we go. So this one starts a little quick, but either way, middle of the field. Look at this. This is one of the most vision-based runs I've seen in a long time. And it's honestly really, really fun to watch here, because look, there's a hole right in the middle of the M on the field right here. Or he could go outside, but then this linebacker kind of covers the outside and he's kind of sticking behind this one lineman. So then he cuts back, but look at this. There's a linebacker coming around the big side on the midfield 50-yard line right there. And then he says, oh, shoot, okay, I'm going to cut back to the outside because I have a lineman on the very outside lead blocking for me right here. And so I'll play at full speed in a second, and then you see the speed. The quick feet get him around the blockers, and then you see this breakaway speed. It's not a big gain at all, and that's a good tackle by the defender there. But this is such an awesome and key run in so many ways. Because again, look at this cut, perfect. Like, you cannot see the guys with the athletic and physical ability to make 2 jump cuts in a row and still be able to find their balance and speed and get upfield like he did right here. It is so rare to find an athlete, especially a running back who, with his size, because if we go back to his size, he is 200 pounds, 5'11". It's not like he's a huge guy, but he's so quick with his feet. I'm going to play at full speed here, but cut back out. It's what a run. I mean, he had so many better runs, and like better runs by yardage and getting downfield more, but he's also a great receiving threat, a huge, great dump off option for Dylan Raiola this past season. But actually, honestly, like 3 cuts. He cuts to the outside right away, right there. And then he sees this hole right here, cuts it back. But look at that, the linebacker. And ordinarily with a running back, this linebacker would be able to come through. And most running backs, like I said, they are not physically gifted enough to make that 2nd or that 3rd cut back outside. He went outside, inside, outside. That quick feet right there is insanity right there. I'm going to play it one more full-time speed because this is honestly my favorite clip so far. Outside, inside, outside again. And then he still gets 8 yards out of it. Most running backs, it's not a loss of yardage, but most guys would take that inside cut into that first hole in the middle of the field there. Not Emmett Johnson. He's going to make any play work for any team, anywhere he gets drafted. And this would be a great name for the Vikings to get down in the 3rd round, because the Vikings do have, I think, 2 third rounders right now, the Sam Darnold compensatory pick. All right, but again, we're going to move on. Emmett Johnson, great name, great prospect. I would love him. Next one on the last one on the list, Nicholas Singleton. All right. This is a pure speed guy, 4.39 40-yard dash, one of the fastest running backs coming into this draft. Little negative thing here. I think Singleton just suffered a broken foot in the Shrine Bowl, day one or Senior Bowl. That sucks. That really sucks. He also had a great 2024 this year. And here's the thing. The guy right underneath him, Katron Allen, one of the best running back duos in the nation. Penn State, obviously the disappointing year. James Franklin gets fired, but both of these guys had phenomenal years no matter what. Singleton still rushed for 549 yards, 13 touchdowns, 219 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown. But it is literally basically a 50-50 split between these two. Katron, bigger guy. He's not as speedy as Singleton. Singleton's your first and second down guy. Perfect for what I'm looking for the Vikings right now. Katron Allen, third down back, Jordan Mason type. I don't want anything to do with Katron Allen. Like I said, I'm avoiding a second Jordan Mason on your team. You need that home run hitter here. Nicholas Singleton is that guy. I have a clip for that too, and we're going to play that right now. All right, this is misdirection here. Drew Aller is going to get the snap. This is in the playoffs against Boise. We have 2 clips against Boise. Boise's run defense. Get it figured out. Either way, Drew Aller is going to go to the right here after he takes the snap. So it's going to kind of get a few of these linebackers to jump that way. But Singleton's also going to get this. And this is honestly, I'm just showing this clip based off just pure breakaway speed. Because look at this. He gets the ball, cuts right through. He needs to make one cut. Let's pause it again right at that cut. He sees this safety coming down, and he sees no one else upfield, up from here. He has a lead blocker in 16 right here, right under this ref, but no one else is upfield. He says if he can make this cut and get around this blitzing safety, he's good. Boom. Breakaway speed, and he is gone. That was to ice the game with 4 minutes left in the semifinals or quarterfinals. But again, look at this. So this is a big one. That vision. He's already looking this way. You see him looking to the right. He sees this hole to the right over along the Fiesta Bowl wording right there. But he didn't even need to look at this safety. He was looking at this safety back when, well, actually, this safety messed up. So pre-snap here, this safety up top, he was already coming down kind of in essence to play the run no matter what. Singleton obviously saw that because right when this hole opens up right here between 72 and 77 on Penn State, he sees this safety up top above the Verbo Fiesta Bowl symbol right here. And right here is where the decision makes up. Great block up here from the Penn State O-lineman. But again, that breakaway speed, you get right past him, and he is gone. And here's the thing. Great receiving threat, too. He was used a lot in the Penn State offense as a receiving threat. I love that clip. Breakaway speed is like maybe my favorite thing to see in running backs because you just know they can hit the home run ball anytime they come up to the plate right there. Either way, Nick Singleton, another great name. But honestly, those right there are the 4 guys that, okay, so like Singleton probably should go in the 3rd round, I think. I think he's slated to go in the 3rd round. Stinks now because I think he did break his foot, so it might hurt him a little bit in his draft stock right there. So that really stinks. I hope he'll be ready for the draft or the combine. I didn't do my research on that. I'm sorry, people. But again, Katron Allen, I'm not interested. We're going to go down real quick and just talk about just real quickly if I'm interested or not. Allen, no. Devon Claiborne is projected to go in the 5th or 6th round. Another speed guy, elusive. Did a lot for Wake Forest this year. Kind of kept Wake Forest in as a winning record, just as a team. Kind of just kept Wake Forest afloat. I guess that's the best thing you could say. Wake Forest was struggling in the quarterback department all year this year, but I would mind Claiborne if it's your last option down there. Mike Washington, no. Jamari Taylor is the one I would want, though. Taylor should go in the 6th round or somewhere near that. He is the guy, one of the fastest running backs in the draft, but he also can hit stick anyone. He's 5'9", 205 yards. He's a stocky dude, but he's also super fast. Very, very intriguing. Very, very intriguing name here. But and then the rest, Terrion Stewart, Jade Knott, and Le'Veon Moss, I'm not very interested in because honestly, like I said, with the Vikings, most likely letting Aaron Jones go, you are going to want one of these top five. For me, not Jonah Coleman, not Katron Allen. I want either of these four. Jeremiah Love, if you trade up, that's my dream. That's what I would so want. That's what I would do. I would do anything to get him. But Jadarian Price, Emmett Johnson, Nick Singleton, those three guys are the more likely options, and I'd be fine with either one of them. For the clips I showed, that's just a little glimpse. People go on YouTube and watch highlights of these guys. You can see good pass blocking. You could see good receiving threats in mostly all of them. And those three guys are what I want. And then again, the guys that I do not, that I, or the ones I want to stay away from, Jonah Coleman, just not enough for me there. I think he should have stayed in college one more year. To be completely honest, he could have been a high first round pick if he did. But Katron Allen, a little bit too slow for me. These guys are more of a Jordan Mason type. I need that home run hitter, like I've reiterated so many times in this episode. But then I kind of went through the depth guys, Jamari Taylor being the top one for me there. But either way, those are the four guys that I think would mean a lot for the Vikings. They would add such a presence, especially, I mean, Jeremiah Love is a step or two. Well, he's like 4 steps above really anyone else. That's the reason why I have him over Ashton Genty. He's a good pass blocker. He does everything well. But the three others, very good options. I'm excited to see where this goes. Because if the Vikings do end up cutting Aaron Jones, I know it's happening. We're going to get one of those four guys. So get these guys' names drilled in your mind, people. And then you'd be expecting it in April during the draft. So everyone, that's it. First NFL draft analysis. I'm going to be doing a draft analysis just up until the draft here, every so often of each position. The Vikings will probably be looking for a safety, definitely corners. Corners will be a big one here, but safeties with Harry retiring most likely. But we're also going to do an episode soon. Is Harrison Smith going to retire? I don't know. Brian Flores is back. He has the option maybe to stay, have fun again. Yeah, corners, maybe some wide receivers because Jordan Addison's being a fool again this offseason. Jalen Naylor's a free agent. There's a lot of speculation there. Offensive tackles, a lot of the ways we could go here, but I'm going to have NFL draft analysis up for each position and where I think the Vikings should go in the draft. But for today, I'm done with the running backs. Everyone, go follow the YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify. Twin City Sports Talk. My name is Bruce. It was great to talk to you. We'll see you guys tomorrow.